So Sandy, let me briefly introduce the host of meeting today is We. She helped us to arrange this whole meeting room. And she is the coordinator from Jim Thompson Art Center.
Yeah.
And also a very important role in our challenging times, the online residency project.
Okay. Hi, we.
And,
Hi, Sandy.
and we have Sorn here. He is now located in Weimar. So it's something like 8 a.m. over there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you went through his presentation, so you briefly kind of know what he used to do. Yeah, and today we want to hopefully try to form the project or trying to figure out the project that Sorn planned to do during this exchange program so that we can follow up to see how we can help him with the research. And hopefully next year, if with all this corona disaster soothe a little bit, we hope to welcome all Thai artists to Taiwan. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Okay. So I think Sorn, you already replied the questions from Sandy. So, and what I found interesting is that actually Sorn sent me some questions before we get connected with Sandy. He is quite interested about the how to say the mainstream narrative of Taiwanese history. Yes.
Mainstream of narratives.
Yeah, because let me check. Because in earlier mail, he asked me if there's any discrepancy of narratives of Taiwanese history from viewpoints of Taiwan and from viewpoints of mainland China. Yeah, because he mentioned that there's a master Thai narrative from the royal family, I suppose, or from the government to describe the Thai history. And I share with him that actually the history of Taiwan, the narrative of history of Taiwan is quite disconnected due to the colonialism and withdrawal of nationalist, the Chiang Kai-shek government to Taiwan, and also because the first local president Li Denghui, that we have a lot of shift in our master narrative. Yeah, I am thinking if Sandy, can you briefly introduce the going on of the process of the transitional justice now happening in Taiwan? Can you please?
Do you guys know martial law?
I learned about it. Actually, I'm interested in the thing called white terror.
Yeah, white terror, which started from maybe 1950s. There was an accident called 228. That's February 28th in 1947, when KMT, the Nationalist Party, led by Chiang Kai-shek, moved to Taiwan formally in 1949. But before that, there was an accident. We called it, 228. A lot of Taiwanese died in that accident. And then martial law, I think that's started from 1940 also 49. I have to confirm that. But what we call the white terror usually started from the beginning of 1950 until the late of 1980. 1980. So some said 1987, some say 1989. It's not, no 100% agreement on that. I've done 2 projects in Green Island, where it's a little island located in the east southern part of Taiwan. It's a little island near Orchid Island. Okay, Green Island is where the prison of White Terror. White Terror, during White Terror period, a lot of so-called political prisoners were prisoned in Green Island because it's a small island. Not many populations lived there at that time. Around 4,000 people lived there. And the prisoners prisoned there around 2,000. Okay.
Okay.
So I can send you 2 links. That's the art festival. We call it Human Rights Art Festival in 2019 and 2020. All happened in Green Island. So you can check the website out.
Okay.
So, because you ask about the main narratives of Taiwan history, just like Zoe said, because due to the colonial history in Taiwan, it's very hard to say what's the true history of Taiwan, actually. Because all narratives were or are conducted by majority or the leading party. So the government, the government now, they are trying to do this job called transitional justice. Try to find out the hidden narratives of Taiwan history, especially related to injustice. Okay, so I don't know, maybe Zoe, regarding to so-called.
Yeah, I'm trying to send in some links in our chat so that Soren can check. Also, actually in previous emails, I've sent the website of Green Island Human Rights Art Festival to him. Yeah.
So Song already know those.
I think I sent this year's edition, this year's version.
Okay.
I'm actually have a little bit of presentation of what I've been thinking about, because the last time I felt that I'm very uneducated about Taiwanese history, so I did quite a research on that, but there's still like a lot of things that I would like to ask. And learning about the DPP trying to do the transitional justice is, I think it would lead me somewhere. And also, I think I would show you a bit of my presentation, if that is okay.
Sure.
Sure. And what?
Please share us your screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, okay.
Can you grant me the screen
okay.
sharing?
This. You just show me something. I don't know.
Yeah. Sandy,
Okay.
he's trying to share his screen with us. Okay.
Yeah, so,
Okay. So
this
can you see my screen now?
proposal,
Yes.
written in the air.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
This might be the final name or maybe just a working title. Because in Thailand, mainly in Thailand, I think that the history is very controversial, and if we really get to be a truly democratic country after this, maybe I think we have to kind of reform how we learn history as well. So between Thailand and Taiwan, I think there are things I like to call white terror and whitewashing, and in this like cloud diagram, nothing is very defined sharply by the lines, because I think now they're kind of like in a bit of chaos, and sometimes it blend together, like between memory of individuals, like experience and perception, and the main narrative of history, and also like between the history and the myth. And so that is what is going to be developed into my project. And the research that I did about white terror in Taiwan, at first I really wonder why it is called white terror. So I look up about white terrors in history. It seemed like quite a popular name for some kind of violent movement. Like the first white terror was in France,
Yes.
and the name got from like something they wore in the hat. And the next one is like the white terror, and also like the white terror in France, what was perpetrated by the royalists who doesn't want the revolution. And the white terror in Russia is also by the supporter of the pre-revolutionary order. It's called white from some kind of symbol, which is not very clear as in France. And in Taiwan, it is also by the authoritarian government, the Kuomintang. But I wonder where the name of white terror in Taiwan come from. Do you know?
Usually we said that Kuomintang is white and that communism is red. So it's the contrast between communism and nationalism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll write that down. Because I think there's an interesting notion about the color white. Normally we see it as in everyday life, it's a color of like cleanliness.
Yes.
And also sometimes like order. I think we can reference something like Star Wars, that stormtroopers have white armor. But in Thailand, I think also the royalists, like a lot of people conduct violence in the names of something that they call like the goodness or something like that. They believe that they are doing something good, but it's not. Yeah. So I think that's interesting notion about the color white. So as that you told me that it happened after the incident called the 228.
Yes.
And I think it happens over the 228 incident happens in the tobacco factory, right?
No, not tobacco factory.
I think the trigger may be related
trigger.
to the.
Yeah, but that's like the illegal legal dealer of tobacco. Because it was illegal to sell tobacco at that time because it's like the business was run by the government.
And,
so any common people, they tried to sell tobacco in the street was illegal. So there was a woman dealer who tried to sell tobacco in the street, was accidentally shot by the government officer, some kind of officer who were taking care of this kind of things.
And does the event happen like in one place or it's like all over the place?
Tea house, we call it 天马茶坊.
天
马茶坊.
It's a tea house.
Yeah, you can try to find out the exact location in Taipei City on Google.
But the span of like the white terror happens in many places over like 30 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
For the white terror.
Before 1980s. Yeah, we call that white terror, mainly in 1950s.
And I wonder, the site of this incident, is it now like a stadium? Because I tried to look it up and I'm not sure if this building still like exists.
No, let me try.
Or is it the Art and Design Museum in Old Tobacco Factory?
I think the location you showed in this picture is the place where they renovate old tobacco factory into arena, baseball stadium. Yeah, but the place and the tobacco factory were built by Japanese like more than 100 years ago. Yeah, it has nothing to do. Basically, the KMT, the Kuomintang KMT party, when they arrived in Taiwan, they derived the properties from Japanese government. So the tobacco industry became a national property based on that. Yeah, but if you want to find the exact location of the beginning of 228 incident, I don't think the place is the right place. We'll try to locate it for you.
It's easy to find it out, even in Google Map. So maybe Zoe or me.
Yeah. It's okay. I'll share the location to him. Yeah.
Okay. So.
Okay.
So it's
Thank
actually
you.
quite close to Taipei main station.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
which means it's also not so far away from the, at that time, the President Hall, right?
Mhm. And okay, thank you.
No
Um,
problem.
So I'm gonna go on with
Yeah,
my
go on,
presentation.
please.
So because I think the narrative is kind of murky, um, not only the narrative in Taiwan but also in Thailand. So I think that can I extract some kind of public memory about this kind of white terror from the public memory, like from the film? And I think the most iconic white terror in public memory is in the film Battleship Potemkin by Eisenstein, that the government, the military that you can see in the left, shooting people down from the stair of Potemkin. The name of stair used to be like the stair of Odessa, just the name of the city, but after the success of that film, it becomes the name of the stair. And also Eisenstein himself is the dubbed like the master of montage. So he was the first guy who put like short clips of video together to
Yeah.
form a narrative in the audience mind. So I'm just keeping this as a side note. Maybe I'll use the form from this, but I'll tell you what I'll do later in the sketch. And for the case of Thailand, it is more like whitewashing because the violence in Thailand is not it's kind of like made very discreetly, even though like the government did it, they remain the power somehow, even when we got the elected government. Sometimes they still control the narrative. And in this slide, I'm showing the monuments made by the democratic movement, like the revolutionary, which is destroyed or change the name or relocate somewhere that nobody knows. So this is part of the attempt to control the history narrative. And there's also like places like this in Thailand. This is actually the meeting hall of the university I graduated, Chulalongkorn. So it's in the middle of Bangkok. And in this place, one of the, I wouldn't say radical, one of the democratic activist student at the time got, he got thrown from the top of the stage to the floor. And like so these are like the sites of violence. And I'm not sure if you heard about the news about the protests in Thailand.
Yeah.
But actually I began this project because I thought about what we have, the so-called Milk Tea Alliance and the civil movement against the dictatorship. Like in Thailand, we are fighting our own government, and in Taiwan, I think I believe that the current government is edition 1, and there's no protest against them, but what is looming over Taiwan is the threat from the CCP, if I understand correctly.
Well, there's of course protest towards current government too, from the pro-China party.
I see.
And like
issues like now, the government try to import the pork, from United States. So there is, or there are some small scale of protests against the current government in Taiwan. Yeah.
But it's not the majority, right?
Yeah, no.
Unlike the sunflower movement 8 years ago, not 7 years ago, unlike that, not as big as that one, but still we have protests every once in a while.
Okay, so in Thailand, when we had coup, I think this was in 2003, one taxi driver, he did it alone. It's not a structured kind of stunt. He drove his taxi like onto the tank at that time. So we have some memories of contestation, which is not in the main narrative of the history they taught in the school. And the monuments in many places. So this was the protest at the monument. And the last time I told Zoe and everyone that on the right you can see the disc on the floor. It is the mark of changing the system from absolute monarchy to democracy, but now it's gone, and nobody knows where it is. And so now people are doing movements, and they use monuments, but for the monuments that they kind of respect, like this one, the democracy monument that we have. On the left, you see the red shirt protest in 2010. They wrap the monument by a fabric to put a message on it. And on the right, this one was in 2014 when the coup happened. So they kind of like mourn, like pay respect to the democracy that is just gone. And this year they also did the same thing with the know-how from the last 2 times. And so to look close up, it is quite interesting. You can see here the top of democracy monument. These round things are like bowls. It is something we use in ceremony to give something to the monarchy, like to the higher. And on the top of these bowls, you can see it is the model of the first constitution, the first democratic constitution in Thailand, which we have changed the constitution for many times, like 20 times, because every time that the elected government gained the popularity, the conservatives, namely like the military and people can also say the monarchy behind this, they arrange a coup to kind of like cancel that government, and they rewrite the constitution to benefit them more and more. So they have been doing that for like 20 times until they won this election, which is very questionable. So if we take the bowl off, I think the form of the constitution from the monument is quite interesting as well. I think it looks like a casket, to say. Getting back to the protest, they use many kinds of strategies to do the protest. Like this one, they use light projection. This one, they use stencil. I think this one is similar to Black Lives Matters in the US. They put paint on the Royal Thai Police headquarters, and that's also like a retaliation from the government. Like they try to cover it somehow, not well, but somehow. And I think this is like the physical manifestation of whitewashing the history. And just yesterday, is it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. This happened because the protesters, they said that they were to arrange a protest at the Crown property. So normally our government is not very effective, but in terms of obstructing democratic movement, they are very effective. So they put like containers around there. But so the protester kind of, they know what the government would do, so they changed the protesting venue to one bank, the Siam Commercial Bank, which the king holds the most stock in, and that is quite official. So this work, from the work that I have done, that I believe you have seen, like these architecture of light. In this work, I want to like put two narratives together at the same time, like put two opposing party, the democratic and the undemocratic, like together. But one, I would really use kind of like the object, like you this one here, I want to wrap a taxi and use the form from the wrap, but not the actual car. So that's the democratic narrative. And I want to make a wall of light, and to make it a little bit like curtain or the surface of the containers, and put it together at the same time, and they superimpose or superposition. Or maybe if I can manage to make a stair of light again, and to put it in the together with the forms of the monuments of constitution. So for the work that I would do in Taiwan, I think I would like to ask for maybe relics of democratic movement. So I believe that after the reign of Chiang Kai-shek, that the White Terror comes to an end, and I tried to read about it, and I found somewhere it said that Lee Teng-hui has done the official apology for the white terror, and now that the DDP is the government, I believe that there are the process going on to undo the whitewashing in the history and make what is objectively true. But also for this work, I want to find some form to derive from. Does that make sense? And if you can suggest me to maybe look at this building or look at this monument or this place, that would be really great.
Yeah. There's a website you can go check it out. The National Human Rights Museum. A lot of archives are online now, including we call that dark heritage, where no matter the prison, the formal prisons or the formal field for massacre, etc. We call that dark heritage. And also a lot of archives, including documentary films, a lot of documentary films. I think some of them are in English subtitles, so you can check them out. If you need help, I can also introduce you to the staffs from National Human Rights Museum that can help you, to do the research about the white terror. Yeah, even it's possible, to interview some former political prisoners. Some of them can speak very well English. Yeah, I know one, Chen Qingsheng. He was from Malaysia, and he was put in jail when he was in university, in Cheng Kung University in Tainan. So maybe you can also, if you got the chance to visit Taiwan, you can talk to him. Or I don't know if he said yes, you can also talk to him via messenger or online.
Thank you. So he also sent me the Sites of Injustice, if I remember the name right.
Yeah. Okay. Transitional justice. Okay.
And yeah, it is a very long list of places. Like I think I went into a rabbit hole, and I'd like to say that I am very fascinated about the Taiwanese history, and also that because now I'm living in Germany, and the news channel that I see is the German news channel, and they kind of say like in 2050 it is going to be like a 100-year anniversary for the CCP, like the Chinese government in China. So it is possible that they are trying to like make a big celebration that year, and they said that the relation between China and Taiwan is going to be quite bad during this decade, because they might be trying to acquire Taiwan to get like legitimacy over Taiwan again. So I want to ask how are like just maybe you or people of Taiwan is feeling about this, and what's the best hope that you have?
Very.
I know that it is very, I don't know, if I were like a Taiwanese citizen, I wouldn't be sure that calling calling for independence like right away would really benefit my country in that sense. Yeah, but you can tell me what you think.
Okay. Okay. Personally, of course, I think that Taiwan is an independent country, but yeah, as you said, considering the current situation, I mean, international political condition is not a proper time to say that or to claim the independence of Taiwan as a country. So I think now our government also try to build the relationship with other countries, not only the manpower like United States or European countries, also some other countries like, for example, your country, Thailand, or some other Asian countries as well. Especially, now I can see that the Taiwan government is trying very hard to build the relationship between Taiwan and India, and Taiwan and Australia. Those countries also play very important roles in geographic politics. I mean, now it's like a new era for our planet, not only for Taiwanese, because now China is a very powerful country, compared with 10 years ago. It's no more, the very weak country anymore. So I think a new order is forming. So Taiwan, although it's a very small country in the world, but from my point of view, it's a smart move to build friendly relationship with every countries, no matter, even China. I don't agree with, to cut it off or, like to see them as just enemy. We can share a lot of things together with China. So I did a project called the Zhongshan Park Project in 2012 in Shanghai Biennale. So I think that we can try to do something together with Chinese. I mean, especially the intellectuals, including artists. We can share ideas or to build the common future together through project sharing or even collaboration. That's my point of view.
I think you can tell that no matter Sandy or me, when we are answering this kind of question, we always emphasize that personally what we think or in our point of view, because so far on this island, on Taiwan, still many people consider themselves more Chinese than Taiwanese, especially
maybe culturally Chinese, but politically Taiwanese.
Yes.
You know.
That's also the point. What I think is interesting, because like I always feel that Taiwanese are very practical. For example, we actually have a more convenient passport than people from mainland China has. We in terms of the visas, or there's also there are many countries in the world that allows Taiwanese people to visit as a tourist without a visa, which is not normal in the case of mainland China people. So I also think that my generation were called by general public that we're naturally independent, because we were born after Chiang Kai-shek passed away, after martial law was lifted. So we also grow up with we kind of grew up with DDP actually. It was like several years after I was born that DDP were officially formed, and they turned off the parliament brought by Chiang Kai-shek from China. And we're step by step going to a relatively more democratic society. However, during I think when I was in elementary school, there were a huge event called Taiwan Strait Crisis. By that time, Li Denghui was the president, and we were always threatened by mainland China that there will be missile pointed at us, pointed at Taiwan. And there are so many this kind of threats from China happening quite often actually. But to be honest, after so many years of all these three items, we kind of also understand that it's very unlikely for China to really put on a physical war towards China. Also because of the situation in China itself right now is very complicated. We also have the Uyghur issue, the Tibet issue. Yeah, so it's actually not that likely that we are going to have a war in near future. That's my point of view. Yeah. But all kinds of war are happening all the time, like economically, or I would say culturally as well, because the generation which is younger than me, they're using quite often the merchandise from China, and they use the apps like TikTok from China, and they also watch the Chinese drama or Chinese variety shows.
And also buy everything from Taobao.
Yes, buy everything from Taobao. So I actually think that culturally, China is gradually showing its influence towards Taiwan.
Yeah, and I don't know. Do you agree or not that most part of Africa, were controlled by China now?
Yeah, true.
Whether economically, politically, even culturally, many African people went to China, go to China for education, for trading, for many different reasons. So so I think it's a possible solution to influence China from inside out. I mean, to have more contacts and more exchange from Chinese people, not government. Okay, because I think Chinese government is different from Chinese people. There are two different things. Many Chinese people also against their government. They have to keep silence. I mean now, but who knows? 10 years later, what will happen? I don't know. Nobody knows. So it's I think it's not so wise to cut off from Chinese people. I mean, like to see them as enemy as a whole, no matter Chinese government. I don't know. It's my.
Yeah. I agree with you. I also think that even though the term cut off means that the term cut off doesn't mean we want to we don't want to recognize China as the biggest entity of East Asia right now. It doesn't mean something like that. But I do think it's necessary that two parties like China and Taiwan can have respectful communication, just like what we have with Thai, with Japan, or with any other country. Yeah. Because so far, ideologically, I think Chinese government or many Chinese people actually still think that Taiwan is part of China, and that is not helpful in enforcing a normal or healthy communication. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
So, Song, what's your view? I mean, personally, how do you how do you see the relationship between Taiwan and China as an outsider?
I think the same as you think that Chinese people is the different part of like from Chinese government, but for me, for what happened to like Hong Kong and for what happened to Tibet and the Uyghurs, and actually also in the Southeast Asian countries like Laos, Thailand as well. I see Chinese government as a big bully.
Yeah.
To put it honestly, because of them as well, we have like water problems because they block the way. I think it is not very explicit because I think that's how they do it now, but I think the Chinese government or the Chinese elites, they are having kind of relations with the Thai government as well. Like the richest guy in Thailand is he is basically Chinese. So and that company kind of like runs almost everything in Thailand, and yeah, that's how I see it. And I have been to Taiwan, I think 2 or 3 times, and I really like it. Actually, I've been to Beitou too, but I haven't been to Hongga Museum. I hope, yeah, I get there sometime soon. And I think the country is very different from China, and it is the evidence of how a good system work. Like the biggest difference between China and Taiwan is the system, and and it is evident that I don't know, for the Taiwanese people who see themselves as Chinese, I think it is evident of what China can be, what Chinese can do as well. But if not because of the system that is imposed upon them, that's how I did. But
so do you know some artists or friends from China?
Artists, sorry?
Or friends from China? Do you have any friends from China?
I met with some people from China, and I've met them when they come to Thailand because they want to do some like Buddhist Buddhist religious ceremony, which I think that might not be very popular or not so easily done in China. And yeah, I think all the people are quite the good folks, and they are very hardworking. Yeah, but they're in the system that they cannot really choose. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I have some friends from China. I don't know. From my understanding, they also keep the hope, for the future of China. It might be someday it will change. I mean, just you said the system, it's possible to change.
Thank
I
you.
think even in this short discussion, Sorn can sense that my point of view or Sandy's point of view has some tiny difference as well. So I guess when you actually arrived in Taiwan and visit all those sites in person, you will find that actually the ideology of what what Taiwan as a country should be, or what Taiwanese independence should be, could be quite different from different people, from no matter different generation or from different background. Yeah, and I think that will maybe change your plan of how to, or that will influence your choice on how to choose the objects or how to choose the symbol to apply to your work.
Yeah.
There are some minorities, ethnical minorities, or some other kind of minorities in Thailand also, right? Like
yeah.
One, ethically, not only Han people, we have different groups of indigenous people in Taiwan, and also some other people from other Asian countries like Vietnam or Burma. There's a small village in Taipei. A lot of Burmese lived there. So I think those minorities peoples, if you speak with them, they will have very different idea about what Taiwan is.
Yeah.
So my the art festival I did for this year is called Draw and if on the margin, draw and coordinate. Okay, so marginalized. I will more focus on those marginalized people, you know, because their voice always not heard by, you know, the public, always hidden. Yeah. So to me, what justice means is not, you know, to claim a narrative which recognized or agreed by most of the people. It's, you know, all the people's voice could be heard equally, no matter you agree with it or not.
I will try to do my best and make the informed decision on like what the final work should be, because as Zoe said, I think I should not. It is also in my practice that I should not direct the narrative like too narrow into pieces as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can, if you still have the link of the website of this year's art festival, you can check out. There are two artists from indigenous artists. One is Zhang Enman, the other one is An Shenghui, Luluan. Yeah, they are from indigenous groups. So you can see their works are a bit different from other artists.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
May I ask Zoe and we a little bit of what would happen tomorrow, like in the meeting? Do you know?
Yeah, we just update what you, maybe it's like today. Yeah,
Okay.
but after today, you may have some idea or more information to put in your presentation. That's good. Something like that. Just happen. But with all the artists.
Okay. Is it a public meeting or it is only us, like the artists and the museum?
So tomorrow is only us.
Okay.
Not public.
It is public at the end of the residency,
we will talk tomorrow. Like we will
Okay.
find the date and time and everything tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Zoe, and thank you very much, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy, for joining us. So as you've heard, at the end of this residency project, we will have a public event for artists to present their research. So please join us again and when the public event is confirmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so I will send you the link of Human Rights Museum. And if you need, I can also introduce you the staff from the museum, yeah, who can speak English. Okay. Okay.
I'll keep that in mind. If I do the research and I need the assistance from him, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
So,
yeah.
So Sorn and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you, Sandy.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Khop khum ka. Khop khum ka.
Have a nice evening.